lowest ones. You would read maybe one excerpt where I'll give you this excerpt, and I think that might be the last excerpt. Okay, yeah, here's one of those, somewhat an event that after a long day, after a long night of revelry, and after everyone left, I'm going to read this paragraph. He thought about the unproductiveness of his lifestyle and the reality of his upcoming confinement. He was perplexed by the desire to change his living conditions while simultaneously loving the fun and excitement that the game provided. He was reminded of a scripture his father used to expound upon when he was a child. It was in one of the books that Paul wrote. It spoke of the will to do right, but not having the ability to accomplish the task. The author stated that the good that he wants to do, he doesn't. And the evil that he would prefer not to do is exactly what he does. What a wretched soul am I, Slick thought, as it related to the problem that the writer was having. So there's those battles and struggles between good and evil that I try to iterate after going so deep, to those whatever that action was. Any questions you have about the book? I know you came in kind of late. Okay. Yeah, I know you can. Give it to me. I know you can give it to me. She ain't shy.
Do you see yourself writing more works other than this?
Yeah.
And if so, what direction do you think you're going to?
What I'm going to do, if you see the end of this book, it sort of says to be continued. So definitely a lot of stuff that I left out, and a lot of stuff that I wanted to get in, but like I said, I went so much in detail on certain things that it was nowhere I could fit anything in. Like I said, the first six chapters were kind of slow, and then the last 7 or 8 seemed like they were kind of rushed. So I'm definitely going to do a sequel to this, but it's also a lot of the stuff that some of the people we deal with discuss certain issues that I just want to address from a straight-on point of view, and bring those issues and those ideas and things to light. So after, I think maybe the sequel to Wrestle with Death, the Red Cross, that's going to be Wrestle with Death 2, the Red Cross is going to be the next sequel to that. And I still can't get everything in with that one, but I might want to digress from that for a while and go into some more hardcore community uplifting, community informative.
So you're heading more non-fictional direction. I mean, because from what I've read online, you seem to have a talent for being very vivid in description.
Mm-hmm.
So that always tends to make a good fiction writer,
Yeah.
So I figured if you ever thought about, that's just something that I thought I would say that you should probably think about, later on, outside of your story, maybe writing some type of, stories along that line.
I thought of that too, like trying to just make up, a fiction story. But I have so many real events or people who show up in real events that, I can write things.
Based on real events anyway, so.
Pardon?
Most fiction you read is based on real events anyway.
True. And
Yeah,
you write so.
tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what I did in this story. A lot of people, around the area are local, so, a lot of my homeboys read it and they say, hey man, who was such and such? Who was such a? Oh, I know I'm such and such. I already know who I am because, they know, but if you don't know the people, it would be just a regular fiction story. If you weren't around here, and I try to do that in a light to respect everyone, who's involved in these stories. Like I said, it's not just my story, it's stories that happened around me and affected me in some way. You know what I mean? Every instance I placed in the book has some sort of mental effect on me, whether it be positive or negative. Whichever way it was, it had a mental effect, and that's why it was placed in there to kind of show, okay, why did I do that, or what was he thinking when he did that? And I was able to sort of, I think, bring that out by doing that.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
After you wrote the book, I'm pretty sure you went back and, read it,
Mm-hmm.
how did you view yourself? Like, were there some things you felt like, wow, I can't believe I did this? Or, what I'm saying, how did you feel about Richard Taylor after putting it out there, putting everything on the table?
Yeah, Richard Taylor, like I said, those first 3 months, I was going in, so I was facing everything, you know what I mean? I really want to, I ain't going, got to go, because that happened. But I think those, like I said, when I stopped, I think it was one chapter in my life that I didn't want to address, and that was, around the time when I was maybe 18, it was expected for me to go to college. And, I was involved in some things here, and I didn't really want to go. So I had a decision, a very pivotal decision to make, and influences were already dragging me towards a certain way, and I went in that way full-fledged. So when I got to that part to write about the story, I stopped, and it was 2 years later, before I could really address that time period in my life. And I think that's why, it took me, I may have should have had 3 or 4 done by now. But I think that was maybe one aspect that I really had to say, okay, I don't want to write about this right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't face that. But then, I had to man up, after, certain situations. God was placing me in, say, okay, you got to man up. This is what you got to do. This is what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like I said, like my self-perception of myself, like I said, was so bad, and that sometimes propels you to keep doing, those wrong things. Like you said, I heard a friend say, oh man, I can't, all have I done? I can't pray. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people feel that way. And actually, I had a call from a real dear friend on Thanksgiving. And he's going through a terrible situation. But he just expressed the fact that, even in those times where, you're so in the wrong, and you're so out of the way, you can still come to God and pray, and He'll hear you, and you can still praise Him right in the midst of that. And I really understood him, even, like I said, his situation is, it's just unexplainable. But, it's those types of situations that really bring out, that desire for God, and that desire to cry out to Him, and that desire to change. And it was a lot of those nights that I had in the midst of those downtowns where I would cry out, or I would call my dad and be like, just pray, or I would call my sister and say, look, just pray for me, because I knew, it was out of my hands.
Right. I have another question. You said that your book was kind of like therapy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as if you've received closure and a new beginning out of verses with that? And it's
yes.
unexplained.
Okay. As far as closure, I don't think there could. I mean, there could. I won't say that. There's always, a way of just, putting things out of the mind. But as far as like the different ties that you have to certain people or places or things, you're gonna always have those ties. There's gonna always be that, that looking over. Okay, yeah, I used to do that, or you know what I'm saying? They still doing it. I'm gonna holler at y'all, but I can't. You have those, alliances that sometimes are kind of hard to break, and you should break them. And with that being said, yeah, I do see myself going this way. So I know I'm never going that way. You know what I'm saying? But there is also a possibility that I can fall. So I don't want to say, okay, yeah, this is a new beginning. I'm changed. No, because that's when I normally fall. So, I definitely want to stay grounded. I definitely don't want to, turn my back to nothing, I definitely want to be mindful and wise of everything that I do to avoid, falling back or avoid tripping up. So, with that being said, I know that I'm destined for somewhere else, but I want to keep my feet on the ground and, let it move in a way that is permanent, not just jumping here, going back. So I just want to, be stable and just, stay still. At this, with brushes with death, like I said, I've been getting a lot of love, with it, and, from the people, support, from everyone, and it's just amazing. And I do see that end that you're talking about, but I wouldn't say, that I've attained it. Yeah.
Just one more thing, this is not a question, this is more like a comment.
Okay.
I know in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, they do have, I can't think of what it's called, but it's for like new black authors.
Okay.
That they do it once a year, and you can, bring your books or whatever, and be able to sell your books, and also, find promoters for your book. So maybe that would be something that, you might be interested in doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know all the details about how to go about it, but, the internet got so much stuff, I'm pretty sure it would be hard to find.
Yeah, actually, it was, I showed the book to, I wouldn't call him an Arab, because I don't know which country he's from, but, he gave me some advice, and he said, yeah, you should, even do create an app, create an app for the book and sell it, for $1. He said, if a million people buy it for $1, you got $1 million. And ideas like that I have just been coming to. Actually, my mother, she put me in touch with the lady around here who's written several books, and I have her card, and she actually goes to those types of events that you were talking about, those expos. And I have her card, and actually a friend hit me on Facebook who works in commercials in New York, and I ran into another friend who works in, who's doing, acting. So it seems like, like I said, this is, not my doing. It seems like there is a propulsion of it, from a higher force, a higher power, my creator. And I just, want to stay right here in the place where I can, just receive, okay, I'm gonna send you this person to help, I'm gonna send you this person to help. Like I said, I pretty much, I've had a few good friends who've assisted me, in this event, and, some encouragement and things like that, but pretty much, all the layman's work, all the lead work, was done solo, and, it can only go so far with me by myself, so I'm definitely looking for the avenues to kind of promote or, get the work in the hands, or even, make it better. Saying somebody say, okay, well, I like the work, but let's tweak a little bit. I would be willing to do that, to make it, the influential work that I want it to be. So with that being said.
I have a question.
Yes.
What advice would you give to a person that enjoy writing themselves and want to get their story out? How would you think, how would you suggest they go about right now?
Just write it once. I mean, like if you've already started writing, or if you've already finished, then that's when the real work comes in. But if it's only it's not a hard process. Formatting is pretty much easy. Finding someone to print it or finding someone to publish it. They have several self-publishers out there who will take your work and actually publish it for you. And my advice would just be, if you have a concept in mind, start it. And that's the basic, the best thing to do is start it. That's the hardest part. You just sit there and start it. And then I think you'll find that, once you start, things will start coming into play. Like once I finish the book, then things start coming into play with avenues to get it published, and people to come and tell me, okay, nah, do this or do that, or I did this before, but it's definitely something that when you put your mind to it and you really want to accomplish it, then your faith or your works will bring those things into existence. If you understand where it pass, you know, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, I can go on and on, but, you know, the bottom line is you have to have that, you know, mindset, okay, this is gonna happen. You know, I envision, you know, a book, Brushes with Death. I envision, okay, a finished product, you know, now I have it. And, you know, that's what you know, that's the advice I would give you, get that mental picture